Everyone, and welcome to Club 4, Episode 5 of Rolling in the Isles, an FM22 British Isles Journeyman series with me, the United City FM. Welcome along. What a difference a few weeks can make in Football Manager. This time round, unfortunately for us, not for our good, unfortunately. Our club, Connah's Quay Nomads, had a really good first half of the season. The second half has been mixed. The last few matches have been fairly rubbish, to be honest. And we've completely lost ground on the top two. We're never going to get back in the time that we've got in terms of this league campaign. We're only 6 points clear of fourth position in third place as well. So that's going to be the real challenge for the rest of the season to see if we can stay in a European spot for next season. Today, we played Colwyn Bay, our previous side, and we've literally just drawn against them in the league. Can we find a win against them and turn this tide around again? Let's find out. Welcome back to Connah's Quay Nomads. So yeah, it has been really rubbish. You can see in this section here, the last 5 matches, we had 2 wins and then we had 2 losses and a draw. The last draw that we had was against our former club, Colwyn Bay, away from home. Today we play the home fixture in the league, back-to-back games against them. I really, really want to beat them, but we didn't manage it in that first of the 2 matches. And before that, the run of form since you and I were together last for Bangor City, couple of wins there, one in the cup competition. That sends us through to the 4th round of the Welsh Cup. We've got a semi-final coming up in the Nathaniel MG Cup as well. But in league terms, 2 losses against Caernarfon and the New Saints. And the Caernarfon game was utter madness. I don't even really know how to describe this one, really, other than we lost 7-5. We were at one point, 4 goals down. We came back into the game, right the way back into the game. I thought we had them. And then the last few minutes of the match, including a late goal in the 95th minute, they took the points eventually. It was utter madness. I mean, Johnson had a really brilliant game, but there are several people who didn't, including the goalkeeper, unfortunately. But that game was utter madness, and it completely blew the confidence of this team. We then played the New Saints directly after, which was unfortunate timing, really, to play the best team in the league at that point. They beat us 2-0 as well, and that followed on with that draw against Colwyn Bay. So the form has gone completely. The positioning remains the same, but the points tell a completely different story. So a little while ago, we were up there fighting against Bangor City and the New Saints. They're now at the minimum 15 points clear of us, at the maximum 21 points clear between those 2 teams. And we only have a 6-point gap over Cardiff Met Uni in 4th position behind us. So you can see things have turned around a lot. I thought for the first half of the season, we were going to really challenge for this championship this season. Now I'm aware that Connah's Quay Nomads are going to be a work in transition for the next season or so while we figure them out and push them forward. I think we can get back to the top, but it's certainly not going to happen this season. In terms of where we're currently heading, we've got a couple of games left of this particular section of the league, and then the league breaks, and the top half of half a dozen sides continue to play each other to determine the champion. So we're going to be in that group, whatever, now at this point. But it's going to be really challenging for the rest of the season to play this top 6 sides and still maintain our 3rd spot. Today we can help that if we get a really good performance, and more importantly, the 3 points against our old team. Can we do it? Let's find out. So in terms of personnel, there's not really too much to tell you about other than the fact that Cullimore is out for a little while with an injury. He'll be back soon into training, so will give us that squad rotation option in midfield again. But other than that, everybody else is pretty much fit and healthy. The issue that we've had is that people have been underperforming. So Williams comes out of the starting lineup and Amos goes in at centre-back. And then also up top, Candy comes in for Lewis Lloyd, just because Lewis Lloyd is a little bit erratic. to partner Johnson up top. So those are the two main changes that we've made in terms of the starting lineup. Everybody else gets a chance to impress against our former side. We've just drawn against them. I desperately want to beat them. We are a better side than they are. It's about time that we showed it. Let's see how we get on. And to do that, we're going in with Park in goal, Barrett at right back, Roberts at left back, Amos and Bodenham in central defence, Berry and Pinchard in central midfield, Rees on the right, Bowris on the left, and Johnson and Candy up top, with a bench of Williams, Ward, Hughes, Johnson, Mitchell, Whiteside and Lloyd. So let's get into today's game and see what happens. So we're leaving the players with no doubt what we expect on this particular match. Pump the fists, and we've told them we're favourites. We should be winning this one comfortably. So let's see if we can do that. We're at home. We have just played them and drew 2-2 in the previous match in the league away from home. It's time to get some wins under our belt again and get back onto the winning track, because the last few matches have been fairly rubbish, to be honest. Johnson with an early chance, and he puts it away early as well for us. 4 minutes on the clock and we get the perfect start, really. And Johnson throughout has been scoring a few goals here and there, but may not have quite been the total catalyst for everything that we really want him to be in the last few matches. But he can only do so much when he's not really fed the ball in the correct way. And as I've said in the build-up to today's match, Lloyd has been a little bit erratic, unfortunately. So maybe Candy can secure a place, excuse me, moving forward. But it's all about Johnson, really, getting him the ball, getting him the opportunities. And there is another one, and he puts it away brilliantly well. 9 minutes in, a looping crossover from the far side, and it's headed back across into the 6-yard box. Bowris with the first looping ball right the way across goal. Rees gets the header back into the 6-yard box. The defender misses a good header opportunity there. And Thomas gets on the end of that one and puts it in the back of the net for 2-0. And this is what we need. And this is what we need from him as well. Getting his chances and taking his chances and propelling us forward. It's a chance for Colwyn Bay. They do get through one-on-one with the goalkeeper. He manages to get down quick enough and parry it out for a corner kick on the far side for Colwyn Bay. So we'll see what happens with this. As it comes in, we get it cleared, but they're going to pick up the loose ball and the highlight goes, so that's okay. They've been struggling a little bit. They're sitting fairly low down the table, not in the relegation zone just yet, which looks pretty good for them. Maybe we'll change that. I can't remember what points they're on, but ultimately, if they stay in this division this time round, I think it's going to be decent for them, because we did take a couple of their better players away from them. So that's just something to think about. Rees with a brilliant chance from a through ball as well, down the right-hand side. 25 minutes in, we are 3-0 up. This is the performance I've been waiting for the last half dozen matches, really. Occasionally, we've won over the last couple of last month or so in game, but we haven't looked spectacular doing it, really. It's been like by the odd goal here and there or whatever. And then we came up in that absolutely insane 7-5 loss that we had. I can't explain that game at all, other than to suggest both defences had a nightmare. And there were some good chances, and we took a lot of them. And they took 2 more than we did. Johnson on the charge down the right-hand side, but he's scuppered in the end and it goes out for a throw-in. But again, helping the team out, being an out ball, getting it up the pitch, which is strong. I'm not sure whether it was offside there, but the defender sorted it out. And ultimately, it didn't really matter whether he was or wasn't. We didn't get the shot away. And Colwyn Bay come back at us. 32 minutes on the clock. And they get it through again. And this time, it goes underneath the goalkeeper from quite a long distance. You'd expect a little bit more from the keeper, but he got his angles wrong, left enough space across the goal for the striker to find, and they did. Sang through one-on-one with the keeper. The defenders were a little bit slow to react, took the shot quite early, took everyone by surprise a little bit, and put it in that bottom corner for 3-1. And if this is the start of them coming back into the game and us crumbling again, I shall be very, very, very displeased, because we've been pretty good for half an hour And it's about time we absolutely put some of these games to bed. Bowers gets a through ball and then puts it straight down the sides of the goalkeeper from quite a narrow angle. Was probably better to drive to the byline at that point and try and cut it back, but decided not to do that. We've had more shots at goal, decent amount on target from them, which is good. Boddenham at the back, setting us up again. Barris down the left-hand side. This time, is he going to drive? He's not quite going to. Now he does. He gets past the defender into the near post, and Johnson gets another good opportunity. This one goes slightly wayward, and they get it cleared again. But half-time comes. We're 3-1 up. We've had a similar amount of possession. Our XG rating, the expected goals from the game, is pretty spectacular compared to theirs. We've managed somehow to get 3 goals from a 1.75 XG. But the key to it is this statistic here, and it's not always the case with us, but on this occasion, 9 shots at goal, which is okay, but 7 of those 9 on target, and that's where we've been able to be clinical from. In recent weeks, it's been that we've created chances and not really put enough of them on target. So we're going to go outstretched arms, done brilliantly, keep going. That's the team talk we're going to give, and then we're going to go into the shouts and we're going to demand more from them just to focus the mind in the early part of this second half. Can we get off to an early start like we did in the first half? There's a chance at 51 minutes down the right hand side, but they win the ball back from us and they send it up top early to Sang. He has to hold the ball up for them, does so very well, and now they get a chance to motor up the pitch and they're working very nicely. We're being very passive in the challenge, but fortunately Roberts manages to sort that out for us. Up till that point, nobody seemed to really want to engage, which is slightly disappointing really and a little bit worrying. But Berry gets the ball in midfield, send it out wide right to Reese, cuts it all the way across, and that is a really fantastic finish by Barris on this left-hand side. The ball came up across from Reese over on the far right-hand side. It was quite a looping cross again. Misses out the strikers in the middle, and it's Barris off the left-hand side who has to control the ball with his right foot, I believe, and then put it onto his left foot. The goalkeeper had made a move. That gave him a chance to put it past the keeper, which he did really brilliantly, and we take a 4-1 lead. And I think that might be game over, but there's still half an hour to play, and Colwyn Bay immediately have a corner kick, and eventually the second effort goes over the top of the bar. I think at 4-1, we're now in probably comfortable stage of the game, so we can relax a little bit and just play some football, get the ball down and keep it and have a couple of more attempts, hopefully. There was one off a corner kick, but the header goes over the top of the bar. And ultimately, with 20 minutes to play, that was a little bit of a disappointing free kick over the top, wasn't it? Really straight to the goalkeeper. He's going to send it straight back again. Don't you love it when that happens? And we get another chance, fortunately, gifted to us. And I think George might have got himself sent off for Colwyn Bay. And he does. It's a second yellow card for him. A silly challenge down this right-hand side for Colwyn Bay, left-hand side for us. And that puts them down to 10 men. So at this point, we're going to run through this highlight, see where that leaves us, and then go and make a few changes and see if we can see this game out with no major problems. It's back with our goalkeeper just for now. He's going to send it through the lines, through the defensive, into midfield. Pinchard takes over, drives over the halfway line, gets a challenge against him, and we lose the ball. And again, though, they're down to 10 men, so their options are going to be slightly limited. Can we find a way to close down the space a little bit, hunt the ball a bit, and take it off them? So far, we haven't managed it, and they do go over the top. And a good block between defender and goalkeeper eventually on the first effort. The second effort comes in off a cross, and Chris Sang again puts the ball in the back of the net. And again, there was a whole period of play. I'm going to pause it just for a second so we can just analyse what happened here. Before this, there was a whole period of play where this section of our pitch, these guys here, were in a line across midfield, and there was players dipping into this sort of area, playing the ball, and none of these came back to close that space down, which was so disappointing. It enabled the ball to go over the top eventually, and they get on the end of it and put it away. But our midfield in that particular scenario were really quite rubbish to be totally truthful. They just did not in any way close the space down on the ball in that particular part of the game. We're going to pause the game. That might dictate what I now do. I mean, we've got some very healthy ratings. Again, the strike partner for Johnson is a big problem. Both Lloyd and Candy not taking their chances. Candy, in a very good performance today from a lot of the team, has got a 6.7 average rating. So he's going to have to come out. We're going to take Pinchard out for two reasons. One, his conditioning is slightly lower than most other people. And two, that central midfield, it just didn't do its job in that last little period of play. So we're going to bring Reece Jackson in to play the last little section of the game. And then we're actually going to switch those two round just because I think they'll play their roles slightly better there. And then we're going to take off a defensive player as well. We could either take off Boddenham because his conditioning is lower, or get rid of the yellow card from Amos. He deserved his yellow card. I think because we've already had a sending off, we're going to take Amos out and put Matty Williams in. But Boddenham can be a little bit fortunate that he's still on the pitch, or potentially unfortunate if he has to carry on and he's so tired. But there we go. Those are the changes. We're not going to change the style of play because ultimately I think with 15 to 20 minutes left, we're still reasonably comfortable at 4-2. And we've been playing quite well in bits. You just want a little bit more urgency occasionally just to close the ball down a little bit. And there is some of that stuff in the setup that I've got going. It's not too passive. We're not asking them to drop off and stay on feet and stuff, but we're not asking them to get stuck in either. It's kind of the middle ground, but we're not really seeing that as much as I'd like. A good attempt off that free kick, I think, from Bowers, but eventually either the woodwork or the goalkeeper manages to get the ball away from the goal. And at 93 minutes, the time has flown by since we made those changes and nothing has happened really. So I think the game is done. We may have one more chance here, working it through the lines. Lloyd drops in to get involved in the play, puts Johnson through. There was a brilliant chance for him, and he didn't quite manage to make it. The goalkeeper parries it out for another corner kick on the far side. So again, it's another very good chance for Johnson that didn't quite go our way, but we're creating them nonetheless, which is good. Another corner kick, I think, was the decision there, but the final whistle goes instead. You can see it was a kind of an interesting game. I mean, we did okay in terms of the first 50 minutes. We were very comfortable. The last half hour or so, less so. I mean, they picked up a whole host of yellow cards through the game, and that's one reason why they got a player sent off. But that last section of the game was a little bit uncomfortable, really. Some very good performances through the side, some also slightly average ones here and there as well. But ultimately, we got the 3 points, and that's what it's all about. So during that round of matches, we actually picked a couple of points back up on Bangor City ahead of us. We're now 13 behind them rather than 15. They only managed a draw. We've still got that 6-point gap between us and Cardiff Met Uni, who are down in 4th position. So that's not too bad. Interestingly, though, in terms of what we're up to next episode, I can't actually tell you because when these next couple of matches finish, we're going to have a whole new set of fixtures based around the top 6 in the division when that league splits. And we've got another 10 league games to play after what you can see here. So we're going to be dipping into that for the next episode, and I'm not quite sure what that schedule is going to look like just at the moment. So you're going to have to come back and find out. We've still got 2 cup competitions that we're in. The semi-final of the Nathaniel MG Cup coming up soon against Carmarthen. And then we've also got an unknown opponent in the JD Welsh Cup 4th round coming up as well. So there's plenty of cup action that we might dip into as well in the next couple of episodes, depending on where we get to. But ultimately, it becomes about that top 6 split in the league and trying to maintain our 3rd position at the very, very least. And ultimately, trying to close the gap back up on the likes of Bangor City, who are slightly too far out of reach to catch, I think. but maybe we can just make a dent in that if we go on a bit of a run. Today was a better effort, 4-2, a good win, good 3 points, and let's see where that takes us. But that's going to do it for today. Thank you for joining me. I really appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and join my United City community. The more the merrier. Click that like button on this particular episode. That will help me get seen by more people. Go check all of the links in the description below to all of my social media. My Discord is in there, my Patreon, my merch store, all sorts of other bits and pieces are in there. Until next time, though, take care of yourselves. I'll see you very soon. Bye for now.